Welcome back, Rednecks, to another Baja Bourbon build. So, for most people, where we're at right now, you could simply crank the torsion bars, take it out in the dunes, and have a pretty good time. But, for what I plan on doing, and from experience, I know them CV axles won't last, especially with my driving record.
Oh my goodness!
That is why we are removing the front diff. So, let's get to work. So, first things first, let's get this skid plate off and the underbody skid plate off. And there she is. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to unbolt our CV axle shafts. So on both on the driver and passenger side. The next thing we need to do is we need to get this axle out, and in order to do that we need to take this 36mm nut off, which is going to require a little bit of heat and an impact, so hopefully it don't go too bad. And then we'll pop this axle out and I'll explain what we're going to do to it once it's out. So let's get to it. Now obviously the heat is not normally needed, but my little dinky craftsman can barely do it, so you need a little bit of heat on things like that. So we got it, we made it work. Let's get that axle out. Alright guys, the next step is to take a punch, and you want to set it on your axle. Take a hammer and pound it through. So here we go. Alright, we go to the bottom side here. If you take a look, there's our axle. Grab onto it and pull it the rest of the way out. Alright, for what we're going to do now, we have the CV axle out, and you don't ever want to leave these out, because if you leave this out, what I'll try to explain here is this part of your outer shaft actually holds your wheel bearing together. So if you can see that hole up in there, there's two bearings. What happens is that they get encapsulated between these two, between this surface and that nut you pulled off. So if you leave this out, your bearing will fail, come apart. A lot of bad stuff is going to happen. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull that boot back, pull that axle apart, and just put that outer shaft section in. So, alright guys, first thing we want to do is we want to take a punch and a hammer, and we're going to take this band right here, we're going to break it. So, and that'll allow us to pull this boot back. So let's get that off. First thing we want to do, you can't hardly see it, but there's a clip right here. We're going to have to expand that clip and then slide this off. So that's a better look at the clip. And all you want to do is get something between it and expand it open. So, alright, next thing you want to do is you want to take this assembly and roll it open. And see how the balls fell out? Alright, I was having a hard time holding it, but if I put it actually in the wheel bearing, I can rotate it a lot easier. I have something to hold it then. So, let's rotate it out, get this last one out here. There we go. And that's it. Alright, what we're going to do now, we slide it out of the wheel bearing. We'll clean all the grease out of the inside. We'll slide it back through, nut it up, and then our wheel bearing will be good to go. So, with the shaft pulled out, I'm going to put a fair amount of anti-seize on these threads, or on these splines here, and on the shaft. Then we're going to send it back through. So. The passenger side is all done, so let's do the same thing to the driver's side. Alright guys, this is fun. This is an aftermarket CV axle. As you can see, it's actually fairly new, so it's unfortunate we're doing this. But I don't see a clip inside there, so I'm going to continue to smack it with a hammer, hoping that it lets go. So we'll see what happens. Got an idea I'm going to try. That's one way to make it give up its secrets. We got it. Alright guys, that's going to do it for today. I got to get going, so we'll weigh them axles in the next video, hopefully with the front diff as well. And yeah, so like, share, subscribe, get back to work.